We have returned. Compas FC is back after a little bit of a hiatus. It's been a little bit. We've been away for a little bit, but like we said on Compas on the Beat, we decided to take a little bit of a break. But we're back. JC Cervantes, Eddie Rodriguez. Eddie, how are you doing?
We're back at the red light district, boys. Enough said.
JC, how are you?
Sensational.
Yeah, obviously, we're back at it. We're going to get into some things. Obviously, the Gold Cup final has been decided. There are some reports about Harry Kane. Could he be leaving the Premier League? We'll get into that. Man United, after years and years of having a goalkeeper, have now moved on. We'll get into some of that, and then we'll get into some of the other signings.
Get in there.
And obviously, JC and Eddie's favorite segment, what's on social media. I know they love that.
Yes, sir.
But let's get it started. Mexico beats Jamaica 3-0 to advance to the Gold Cup final. Eddie, what did you make of the game between Mexico and Jamaica?
I don't know, Effecto Jimmy, maybe, or Jamaica are not that strong.
Lamborghini.
I mean, if Henry Martin is scoring goals, then
in the first 90 seconds.
There's two things about that. There's Jamaica maybe not being as strong as we thought they were, and well,
who thought Jamaica was strong?
The Gold Cup in all essence is
1,000%. That's what it is.
The level of play in the Gold Cup is just not up to par with like other different international tournaments. But good on Mexico, I guess. They needed to bounce back, and they needed to bounce back in a big way. And this is it right here, 3-0. A lot of the fans are now happy, or at least, cheering some of the players and booing others, deservedly so. I don't understand what Jimmy's thinking with Antuna, if he thinks he can turn the guy around. Maybe. If Tuca Ferretti can't do that, I don't know if Jimmy Lozano's going to be able to do that. But yeah, all in all, 3-0. I guess it was expected. We said it in the podcast that Mexico needed to reach this final if they had any hopes of reconciliation with the fans. But again, none of us here, I don't think, rate the Gold Cup. I think JC will let you know about how he feels right now, but I honestly don't rate the Gold Cup. I heard something in social media the other day. Some guys were saying that the Conference League is not up to par to the Gold Cup. Two different leagues, two different competitions. But I mean, if we're being honest, they're clowning West Ham for winning the Conference League, but then they cheer Mexico for winning a cookie cutter trophy like the Gold Cup. So I don't understand.
I mean, USA won the only two Conference Cups ever, right?
Let us know in the comments what you think about that. But let's be honest here. This Gold Cup, whether Mexico wins or doesn't win, I can care less. I mean, it doesn't change the fact that they still have a lot of work to do.
I think he's talking about that cup that Roma won last year and then West Ham won this year. That's the cup that you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's exactly the cup I'm talking about.
JC, what did you make of Mexico against Jamaica?
I mean, I don't know.
And there's no baseball on right now, so obviously I know you had a chance.
I had to sit there and watch through that. Great All-Star game. Finally the National League won it again. But anyways, back to football. I mean, it is Jamaica is who we thought they were. The Jamaica that people were saying. The reggae boys, they'll show flashes, but when you get scored on in the first 90 seconds, and then the way you get scored on. Jamaica, basically Mexico did what Jamaica wanted to do. Score an early goal, get the lead early, make them, come and get out of their comfort zone and fight and battle. But don't let these results fool you. I'll be in the group chat spamming the Lamborghini, we're on the roll. That's just because I always thought Jimmy should have been the head coach and we shouldn't have this discussion of who's going to be the next coach and all that hoopla, right? But essentially, it's the Gold Cup. There's no talent in the CONCACAF. This isn't really anything you gauge. This isn't anything to really get too hyped about. The Conference Cup, same thing. Nations Cup, whatever the hell it's called these days. a million names for one cup, and they just keep making them up as they go along. But they don't hold rank. You wanna really hold anybody. You want to really hold anybody to any kind of standard. The Copa America is right around the corner, and that's a real tournament you got to be looking out for because you're playing with some real quality talent right there.
2 years,
and a
right?
lot of those teams.
Next year.
It's coming up quick. I think a year and a half. I think now, right?
Okay.
So essentially, it's coming up quick, and you gotta have to have a squad ready. You really have to have your base and your foundation set in order to be ready for those real tournaments that you got to look out for. Because now you're playing tournament. You're playing a tournament against a Brazil, an Argentina, a Peru that could essentially give you a hard time because of where they're at now, from a football standpoint, not where they were. Gauge them where they are. They gave Argentina a hard time, and they almost qualified. And this is the same Argentina team that went ahead and won the World Cup, right? But I'm just saying, I remember that. And we all remember
Cup is up there with the Audi Cup.
And it's getting exactly. And Tottenham won that one, so that'll tell you enough, right? So that'll tell you, But this really isn't anything to get too hyped about. This is really Mexico's cup to lose. They're the only one coming out here with an A squad. This is a USA B squad that lost today. And let's call it what it was.
Squad at that.
They lost in pens versus a Panama team that was really going crazy. And we'll talk about that when we get there. But this really isn't anything to get too hyped about. Let's not go ahead and start losing our tops and saying Jamie's going to be the one to save the world and Mexico's this, Mexico's that. Because at the end of the day, if you rank players position for position versus the top quality of the world, they're coming up short. And they're coming up short by a lot. And it's not really anything I hang my hat on to say that Mexico is really making the progress. Are they the favorite to win? Yes. Should they win? Yes. If they lose, like we say in Spanish, it's a fracaso. And shame on them.
Now they're the favorites because the United States lost. But
they've been because it's a USA BC squad, and this is Mexico's A squad I think minus like 3 players. Like because realistically, what are the players that are missing? Chucky Lozano. And who else?
Eddie's boy, Tecatito.
Okay. Trash. Not that much better than Antuna, right? And you're really only playing Antuna.
He's way better than Antuna. He's 10 times better than Antuna. Let's be realistic. Don't compare Tecatito to Antuna now. That's disrespectful within itself.
How, Sway?
That is crazy.
How, Sway? He didn't even play the whole season, but you're going to rate him better. At least, Antuna played the whole season. At least Antuna played the whole season, But, nonetheless, this is like the best of the worst right now, and that's really what it is. You got a pool of like really trash players. These are the best of the trash, but they're still trash. That's really what it is.
So I gotta ask you, you've been, and before I go back to Eddie, you've been on the Jimmy Lozano train from the beginning. After after what's his name left,
since the Olympics.
Yeah. So let's just say Mexico wins Sunday.
He should be the number one.
Should they take off the interim?
There's no reason why anybody else should be getting a position over him if it's not a Piojo, if it's not somebody who already has coached the team before. That's the only reason why you take that away. You don't take away Jimmy to put a whole new guy who's going to start a whole new process. And that's where I stand on that. You know what I mean? Like, you maybe a Piojo is the only other guy I would say you take instead of a Jimmy. But even then, you've seen what Jimmy did from one game to another. He got players to actually try and to put some effort in the game. And that's really
besides that Qatar hiccup, and that was just because he started.
That's a money move. You know how I feel about that. You don't invite Qatar and then go beat them 6-0. Like, no, bro. Like, that's a money move. They want the Fly Emirates to be, a proud sponsor of the CONCACAF real soon. So that's
what. Eddie, let me ask you. I was watching when I was listening to the game. Unfortunately, I had to watch it on. I had to watch it on Fox Sports 1 just because I was streaming it. So I was just listening to the end of it while I was setting up for the show and everything. And I heard the announcer say that Jonah Vasquez and Cesar Montes haven't allowed a goal when they start together. Do you feel like, and I know for years you've had Hector Moreno, you've had other guys. I know you guys are getting a kick out of it, but do you think that both guys are just not it for Mexico, or do you think there's some truth there that maybe they have something with these two?
There's no truth in that. There's no merit in that. I mean, yeah, they didn't concede a goal. They conceded one goal. Like, really, like the competition, the level of competition that we're playing, you would expect something like that. Let's be honest here. Um, Again, Mexico, Gold Cup. Where's the pedigree in this competition? Um, you got two center backs who don't really play at their clubs. Montes is already Sociedad is already looking, or Español, wherever he's at, they're already looking for a way to get him out. Like they're like, wow, we made a big mistake. We don't want him here anymore. Johan Vasquez gets a start here and there in Italy, but it's not like he's a consistent starter. So, but if you look at this pool of Mexican players and Mexican defenders, who else do you turn to at this point?
It's
I
rough.
mean, you're not going to go back to Hector Moreno, I don't believe.
I hope not.
Rafa Marquez has been retired for how many years?
Don't even
Pollo
speak that, bro.
Pollo Briseño, he had potential.
He had half a season.
He didn't really do anything. I guess your best defender, in my opinion, is Sepúlveda, who plays at Chivas right now.
Very raw.
But again, like if you put him in the mix, who are you going to start next to him? So there's a lot of question marks behind these players. I don't necessarily think they're what Mexico need going forward. I would probably rate Montes a little better than Johan Vasquez, but that's just me. I think Montes has been there, done that with Rayados, got the move, whatever. He plays a little better out the back than Vasquez.
More composed, yeah.
Has a little bit more composure. But again, these are role players at best. And like JC hinted at it earlier, these are not the best players, but these are the best of the bunch at the moment. So
Eddie, I gotta ask you, Sunday, Mexico wins. Jimmy Lozano, you take the interim off and you make him the permanent coach?
I would, but that's not going to happen. They're already making an advisory board with ex-coaches like Denai in there, some people from the federation to try to see who gets the position. So if they're already doing something like that, it's highly unlikely that Jimmy Lozano will remain as the head coach. Now, will they come out and say, hey, Jimmy has an equal chance as everybody else? Perhaps
a lot
to
of
save
talk.
face, or maybe if they say, "Hey, we're not moving forward with Jimmy, but we would like to invite him and be part of the advisory board." It's almost like a slap in the face to Jimmy, like, "Hey, like, what are you talking about? I just did this job that up until when I took it, it was not desired by anyone. Nobody wanted this job. You could say and put reports that you're recording coaches like Zidane, Mourinho, or whatever you want to say, but there's no merit to those reports. You can slide in the DMs all you want. Don't mean you're going to be read or even replied to.
Zidane probably sent who this, and they told him.
Like,
yep, no.
Zidane had to hear from someone at the Adidas store, like, "Hey, it's the Mexican national team." Oh yeah, tell them not DM me no more. So again, would you take it off? I would personally. I would let it ride with Jimmy, but is that what's going to happen? Highly unlikely.
Well, let's move on now and obviously talk about Panama upsetting the U.S. in penalty kicks. But before that, we got to get to something. There's a Dan and Dago alert for you guys, and here it is.
Man, that was early.
This is in video form, though. This is in video form, Eddie. You might want to pay attention to this.
Let's see.
Go ahead, Dan. Who are you going to bury?
Yeah, why don't you put it up there so I can remind myself of what I'm burying? Oh, that's right, Team USA. So I was so
dementia.
I was so pissed when I heard the news that Greg Berhalter was coming back Jr. as Sir Edward and little Daniel fans of him are hoping he turns out to be. I just don't understand it. Like, what was his claim to fame?
Eddie, what do you make of Dan and Dago saying that?
Dan and Dago. We're just talking about allowing someone to continue the process. So allowing someone like Berhalter to continue the process from the previous World Cup to route to 2026 makes a lot of sense. He had a fallout with one of the best players, let's be honest. He did. and it was
It's
ugly.
kind of the
But
player. I don't know.
but the majority,
I would-
but the
Kinda the
majority of the
player,
team,
though.
the majority
with
of the team vouched for Berhalter, and I feel they wanted
except
him
for
back.
one. One
And I
wanted to
feel they
stay
wanted him
out of
back.
it. He didn't want any controversy.
So I have no problem with Greg
That player's
Berhalter
headed to
being
AC
back at.
Milan now.
Hey, why are you so mad? Why are you so
Slow
U.S.
down, champ.
football?
Slow
You
down.
know, why are you so anti-U.S. football? We'll get to that
I'm not.
later.
I'm
But
not.
yeah, allow the guy to continue the process. I think he did a fantastic job at the previous World Cup.
I love how he called him
Um,
Pep Jr.
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, well, little Daniel, if you're listening to this, stop. Okay, stop. I don't like Pep as much as the next guy, but I'm not gonna call him no Pep Jr. Okay.
No, Dan
So,
says that he's Pep Jr. because he looks like him, but you guys think that he's a genius, Greg
oh
Berhalter. So that's
man,
Well,
why
who's you guys?
he's
Exclude
taking
me,
it. No. He's
please.
talking about little Daniel and Eddie.
yeah.
That's
You know
why.
where I stand on Greg. I think
No,
he
I know.
peaked
I
as
know.
a
No,
manager, and I
he's
think
taking
he's
a
got
shot
to
at
go.
Eddie and at little Daniel.
Let's be clear on
But
that.
There you go. So
but
quickly.
let's
We
get
we
to
owe
the
the
game.
viewers the truth.
Let's get to the game. JC, what happened here? Why do you think? Because I
You
mean,
know,
you even texted it to us. You're like Panama, or I think it was either you or your brother. You guys are like Panama keeps on missing. Like they've had a lot of chances.
they did, and honestly, that's what happens, and then that's always what I've been saying since like day one of this podcast. Is anybody can win a game in 90 minutes. In these kind of tournaments, the team that tries the hardest is going to be the team that's going to win most of the time, as long as they, are concrete with the few opportunities they have. But let's be honest, this isn't USA's A team. This is just, again, proves what the Gold Cup is. It's a trial cup. You send out your B, you send out your C squad. You're doing your trial and error. You're finding out who's going to be a depth player, who's going to be a role player, who's going to go in there and be on the bench, who could possibly start over this guy, who deserves the next call up to take over. And there's very much quality players on this USA team. But how many are really yelling to go ahead and take away a job from a starting player that's on the starting 11? Very few. There's 3 or 4 that I saw throughout the tournament that have been, showing some promise. But that's just very much it. They're playing again, Panama, these lower end teams that don't really, give you the difficulties that another team could give you, like a Mexico.
One of the strikers was a guy that's been playing in the MLS for 9 seasons. Yedlin played.
Jordan Morris, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some guys, it's a crazy mix. So you got guys that are falling out, one last hoorah, and shout out USA for really going through the process, mixing in new players with old players and developing a team that's going to be kind of okay to compete. If you're USA, are you mad for losing this tournament? In a way, yes, because of the way you're losing it. You would expect to lose in at least the final, not in the semifinal to Panama and PKs, especially with the amount of opportunities you had to win that game. They had more than enough clear chances to close out and win the game in 90 minutes. And then going into extra time, they had a few more. It was one of those, whoever scores first is going to be the team in the front. And unfortunately, Panama got that goal first, but it's not really anything to hang your head on if you're a USA fan. Your A team could very much wipe the floor with this Panama team, even if they give you a hard time to start off. But, it is just a great summary of what the Gold Cup really is. You can go out there and put your B or C squad, and you're still going to make it all the way up to semifinal and lose on a chance goal. Because really, that's all it was. It was just a chance goal from Panama. They missed a bunch. USA missed many more. And that's just, the difference in quality between the two players. But an overall summary of the Gold Cup.
Eddie, what did you make of the Panama USA game?
Good job, Panama. I mean, they've made their job. They made the job difficult for any team they play. If you remember a while back where they played Mexico in the Estadio Azteca, it needed a Raul Jimenez miracle goal to score the goal and send Mexico to the World Cup finals. This USA team was made out of French players. Maybe you have 1 or 2 that are actually part of the actual squad. But the other players are French players that, Greg Berhalter, U.S. Soccer, wanted to take a closer look at to see if there's potential for any of them to come on in and be part of the process moving forward. There's a lot of MLS veterans in this squad. Sendejas was part of this squad, but I
Scrub.
mean, I don't really rate the guy.
No one should.
So I'm not surprised that Panama came up with the result. I think it's football. Anything can happen. You can have 99% possession. That doesn't mean anything.
Oh yeah, we've seen that.
You can have 3 shots on goal, but if one's on target and it goes in, that can be the difference maker, right? So good on Panama. I fully expect them to make Mexico's job difficult moving forward, and potentially upsetting them, quote unquote, upsetting them, and taking that Gold Cup. So it'd be the first in their history, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, first final ever.
So Sunday, you think Panama has a chance against Mexico?
Absolutely, I do. I absolutely do think they have a chance.
Hell no.
Don't get carried away by this 3-0 Jamaica scoreline. They have a chance. Absolutely.
JC?
Yeah, don't get taken away by the score, but I still don't believe Panama have a chance.
You know what? Let's do it. Prediction time. Who you got, JC? Who you got?
Mexico in 90 minutes.
What score?
They'll squeak it out like a cheap 2-0.
Eddie?
I think 2-1 Mexico in extra times.
Oh, extra time. All right, let's move on now. There are reports that Bayern Munich have now attempted for the second time to sign Harry Kane. I think the last bid was 88 million that they offered. Supposedly the Spurs want 117 million.
Yeah, Levy is smoking.
For Harry Kane.
Let me get whatever he got.
Well, there's 2 questions I got for you, but I'm going to start off with the first one. Obviously, JC, Bayern saw what happened to them last year, where they were missing a number 9. A lot of the stadium even was chanting Cristiano, Cristiano, Cristiano. That they know that they need a striker. They were chanting for Cristiano Ronaldo, but they know badly that they need a number 9. But what do you make of Bayern Munich trying to get Harry Kane? Do you think they'll be able to plop him away, or do you think, or pry him away, or do you think the price tag is just going to be way too much for them? Because I think the only player that they've ever spent more than 80 million on is Lucas Hernandez, and you already know where he's at. He's on his way to PSG.
He's on the way out. Yep. I mean, it's tough to tell. I mean, Harry Kane for sure. I've gone on here and said the man guarantees you a goal a game. Could he adapt to the Bayern Munich play style? Maybe. Thomas Tuchel, ex-Premier, league coach. And, he's in a position now to go ahead and splurge and get one signing. And he really is one striker away from having a very top quality team, even with the departures he's had. I mean, Harry Kane going to the Bundesliga, he really only has to look out for Champions League, right? Because, I mean, during the league, going to be goals ahead to have had, and he's just going to be in there practicing for Champions League. Bayern Munich, thankfully, are one of those few teams still who don't play this modern, price tags game. And I don't think they should be bidding more than what they already bid. That's already kind of an outrageous bid coming from a Bayern Munich. Tottenham are kind of crazy for what they're asking for. Harry Kane showed up today for training, I think it was, or yesterday.
Breaking news, man shows up to work.
Yeah, exactly, right? The guy showed up to work. He's under contract. He showed up to practice. Respect to him for being a professional and not making more of the situation what he had to be. But they definitely do need a striker. Is Harry Kane the answer? I don't know, because you're getting a guy who is going to have to still adjust to the game. I feel like Bayern should be going for a guy who's already in the Bundesliga. You could have seen him sign Nkunku if he hadn't gone to Chelsea. I think very much that would have been a solid alternate. But there's still a few strikers to be had in the Bundesliga that they can have a go
Silva,
at.
maybe.
And then what's his name? The guy from Frankfurt I keep talking about left and right. The Frenchie. What's his name?
Munai?
Yeah, the one that just missed that pen.
Yeah,
that 1v1 versus Argentina. And, I feel like he could still, go and fit into that system and accommodate himself a lot faster and make himself a quality piece a lot faster than a Harry Kane can. Because it's a different pace of game. Quality players are going to be quality no matter where they go, but it is sometimes a matter of time. I don't think Bayern really has the luxury of time on their side, especially because Borussia was really on their heels and they were one game away from taking away the cup from them, and they're lucky to have that cup today. But I don't think Harry Kane is the answer for Bayern Munich. I think that they're still kind of going for one big splash signing. Um, could he go? Yes. I don't think they should pay more than they bid, but we'll see what happens because it's a tough tell. But they do need a striker bad. They were one striker away from knocking out a few teams, and hopefully they get one. But I just hope they don't get mugged by Tottenham because they don't deserve that. Tottenham doesn't deserve that paycheck for me.
Eddie, what do you make of this?
I think it's great. I think Thomas Tuchel likes Harry Kane. Obviously, he saw him in the Premier League up and close. He feels he can get the best out of Harry Kane, and rightfully so. I think Thomas Tuchel has proven that he can get the best out of players. It's interesting that they went and bid that much for Harry Kane, which tells me they're desperate. And they're desperate to sign him, and they're desperate to sign a striker. I'm a little taken back that, Bayern Munich were never in the conversation for maybe an Osimhen, but maybe an Osimhen doesn't necessarily fit Thomas Tuchel's playing style or what he's looking for at the moment. So I do believe that Daniel Levy should respect Harry Kane. And if Harry Kane came up to him already and told him, hey, please let me go, you're going to get something out of it. I think accept the bid, whatever it is, 88 million, 80 million, whatever it is, that's fair. And we leave in an amicable way, and that's it. That's the end of my Tottenham career. But Daniel Levy, if there's one thing about him, the guy is stubborn as a mule.
And greedy.
And if he wants to wait to see for Bayern Munich to break that $100 million mark, I think he's sadly mistaken. I don't think Bayern Munich's going to do that. I think they're going to say, hey, this is the bid. Come to the negotiation table. If you choose not to and you're holding out for $100 million, thank you very much, and we move on to the next player. So it'd be exciting to see Harry Kane up there in the Bundesliga. Not many Englishmen go up there. I mean, yeah, you've seen Sancho and Jude Bellingham in recent times, but historically speaking, a lot of Englishmen don't leave their country to go play abroad, like in Italy, like in Germany or Spain. So we'll see. But I do think that Harry Kane will definitely make that Bayern team one of the favorites coming into next season's Champions League if they were to sign him.
Let me ask you, Eddie, if it's between going and winning a Champions League or breaking the all-time goals record for the EPL, which one do you think? Which way do you think Kane leans as of right now?
As of right now, I think he's leaning towards breaking that goal scoring record. It's unfortunate that I say that, but
yeah,
I think he's already made up his mind, saying, "Hey, I think my best chance at winning any trophy is playing with the national team," and I think he's okay with that. With that being
and by
said,
the way, they just won the under 21 World Cup.
Under 21s, yeah, they did
Yeah.
against Spain. But if I'm in Harry Kane's shoes, I'm just like, hey, I'm 29 years old. I'm not getting any younger. Bayern Munich is a great chance for me to move to and win silverware. You're guaranteed silverware by going to Bayern Munich, whether it's League Cups, domestic tournament cups, and you're playing Champions League football every year that you're there. It makes a lot more sense for him to move over there. But then again, you're so close to beating that Alan Shearer record. And all he's ever dreamed of was playing in England, playing at the highest level, and playing for the national team. Like, in my mind, I think Harry Kane's already thought, hey, I already achieved my goals of being a professional in this league. I want to continue being a professional in this league, and I'm already, part of the English squad. So what else can I ask for? So it's unfortunate because the guy has so much potential, speaking about right now, to come and join his Bayern Munich team and lead the line the same way Lewandowski did when he left Dortmund to Bayern Munich.
Eddie or JC, what do you think? What way does he lean? Do you think?
I really hope he leaves. To be honest, he has no reason to stay with that Tottenham team. They're not really doing anything to better the situation he's in now, and they're not giving him any promise of winning a trophy. And usually, as a player, you want to win trophies and you want to be remembered that way. I feel like the all-time goal scoring record is kind of like whatever, let's year keep that, go win yourself a trophy, and really, really put yourself up there as one of the top all-time goal scorers, because you really do need one of those trophies to really lift you a little bit and separate you from the bunch, because it's not a guarantee that you're going to win a trophy with England. They do always have a chance, but they always find a way to bottle it some way, somehow, and we've seen it already in 2 tournaments in a row, and it's tough. I feel like Harry Kane should stop drinking the Tottenham juice and go win him a chip, and that's really what I want to see him do. I want to see the guy win trophies. I think he's an all-time goal scorer no matter where he goes. And why not do it in 2 different leagues? Why not? What's better than that? We know a guy who did it in a few different leagues, and some still argue he's not that good. So
he's headed to Miami FC, right? That guy? No.
No, I think he's recruiting.
Champ?
I think he's recruiting talent in trying to develop a whole nother league. But I don't know.
You're talking about that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
The guy. We're talking about the guy.
Signature.
I think he like yells
and
like,
it carries on around the world.
I think he like
and
yells,
everybody around the world does it.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I think we're talking about the same one.
Well, JC, this is obviously for you, and this kind of unlocks the Dan and Dago question of the day.
Another one. We get 2 today.
David De Gea leaves
Another
Manchester United after 12 seasons.
This guy.
Dan and Dago's question is, Dan and Dago, he has a 2-parter. One, JC, have you given him his flowers yet? And are you saddened by the fact that David De Gea is leaving?
Give him flowers. Be giving us flowers for keeping him so long. That man should have been gone a long time ago. Let's call it what it was. He's been living rent free out there, and he really hasn't been living up to his wages. And
you're not going to start like that.
We're going to go in here and we're going to start playing favorites and blah, 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 blah. But let's call it what it is. We would have stopped the treble if De Gea it wouldn't have been the goalie. All right. And we would have beat Sevilla if De Gea wasn't the goalie. So
Maguire wasn't playing that game.
I don't know what else there is to argue. Oh, now it's Maguire. You see, always looking.
Was it Maguire? Okay, it was. We
De Gea wasn't playing goalie.
You were there.
De Gea wasn't playing the goalie.
Oh my god.
De Gea wasn't playing goalie and watching balls go
goals
through
did
like
Harry
always.
Kane score? He was man of the match for Sevilla.
All right, there we go, making up
the other.
But anyways, we rid the dead weight. He's toxic trash. He's got to go. He wanted to leave a long time ago. We should have never re-signed him. You should have let him leave with his girlfriend in freaking Spain when he wanted to. Be gone.
That's Dan and Dago's second question. Do you hate fax machines?
Now I do, because this problem got extended longer than they had to. But that's why we moved on from the fax. I hope so, and we can email or FaceTime somebody now or something, and let's get some deals done. Let's do it. It's 2023 now, guys. Like, let's move on from the facts. That's really not the best way to do business. We've seen it, and I've been suffering, and it's time to move on.
You've been suffering.
Oh yeah, I've been suffering because I'm tired of hearing all these bums defend this loser like he actually did something for someone.
And which leads us to something else. Marcus Rashford wishing him, you were here from my breakthrough. Good luck with your next step, brother. Wishing him good luck.
Yeah, that boy's a freaking bozo. He leaked out the way he was trying to freaking. Yeah, he's a bozo. Don't even get me started on that guy.
And look, he turned off. Did you notice he turned off the comments on the picture too?
Of course he did. Look at him, bozo. Edited 4 days ago. Man, I'm telling you, that's Mr. Instagram right there.
So now obviously we go to Eddie. Eddie, what do you make of David De Gea leaving after?
Get ready, everybody.
12
Get ready for the lies.
12 seasons, bro. 12 seasons, number one, at one point considered the best goalie in the world.
At one point, like 10 years ago.
So relax. When Mourinho was there, he was considered the best goalie in the world.
Yeah, like 10 years ago. Wow.
That wasn't 10 years ago. But
crazy.
You know,
it was between him and Neuer.
He gave everything for the club, and
he gave
Manchester
everything.
will always be his home.
Yeah,
You saw it when other players like Bruno, like Casemiro, like Lisandro, they posted it and they talked about De Gea, and they they think he's one of the best ever.
Show me the post. Bring him
on the Instagram right now.
Let's
you
do
can go
it.
on the Instagram right now.
Let's do it.
Bring up the Casemiro. Bring up Casemiro's post.
I will.
Fernando,
I will.
If you
he
will.
plays 6 months with him, and he wants to quote a Casemiro post.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
6 months is all it took for Casemiro to be impressed.
You kidding me? He went from Courtois to this bum?
Come on.
You're crazy.
Come on.
You're crazy. Have some respect for Courtois.
And then Bruno posted him on the stories.
Keep on going. I'm
so
trying
to I think it's kind of disrespectful that JC is out here, saying the things he's saying, because
he did nothing to stop the
countless times helped Man United, bailed them out, won them points.
Still talking about
there's an interesting stat I want to see how many points that they had went for Manchester United. I know
let's look at how many he lost.
I know
we could talk this season. He lost us 2 trophies this season, but whatever. That don't matter, I guess.
So, I think he left gracefully.
Gracefully. You didn't have a choice. He had to go. Ten Hag kicked that ball to the curb. Good job, Ten Hag.
Ten Hag was honest with him and told him he's not going to guarantee him any playing time as number one if he brings someone. So, yeah.
Me and Ten Hag like this. Ten Hag like this. He's my better half.
Yeah.
Got rid of that ball.
You weren't saying that. You weren't saying that at the beginning of the season when we lost to Brentford or Brighton. You were on that Ten Hag out train.
What are you talking about?
I don't want to hear it. There we go. Look at
that. Casemiro wrote on Instagram, David, my mate, you made
Casemiro don't even speak English. That's how you know this.
You will always be a Red Devil, and these fans will continue to support you wherever your next challenge leads you. You will always be one of us. My best.
That boy went on chat. That boy went on chat AI, and it was like, let me get a farewell post in English, and he got that.
Put some respect on the guy's name. Put some respect on the guy's name. And they also left with a Golden Glove, so good on him. Good on him.
Yeah, it could have had a freaking Euro Cup and a FA Cup too, but yeah, we saw how that went.
Well, as they say, out with the old, in with the new.
Love it.
Manchester United are trying to sign goalkeeper Andre Onana. From Inter Milan. Y'all are wild.
Stupid.
You see that?
I promise it's water.
According to our guy Fabrizio, he put understand Thursday is a crucial day to make the Onana deal happen.
Very much.
Man U and Inter will speak tomorrow. Optimism remains after negotiations in the last hours. After some tense moments. Next 24 hours will be very important for this deal, as expected since last week. So, Eddie, I'm gonna start off with you. If Man U are able to make this signing official, just what do you feel like this kid brings to Manchester United?
A lot. I mean, he already played under Ten Hag. He can play from the back. He's cool under pressure. Last season in the Champions League, he was the goalkeeper with the less goals scored on. So, he does bring a wealth of experience to the team. We play Europa League, don't forget. I think this is a great signing. It's a typical Ten Hag signing.
What do you know?
Now, there's a bigger question. Who's going to play number 2? And
it doesn't matter who's playing.
The whole reason they were trying to make De Gea stay is so he could play second fiddle. But I think Ten Hag must have something in mind. He must be cooking up something that we don't know about.
Per usual.
If this is the way he's going, I personally would want to sign Neuer, but with Thomas Tuchel being there now, who knows if those plans change of letting Neuer go and walk. But great signing by Man United. They can get this through the line. I do think that the price is a little steep if they're asking for 50 million. Um, I think more in the ballpark of 35 to 37 makes a lot more sense, and push it to 40 with incentives. But if they're asking for more than 50, I think that's overkill.
Uh, JC, what do you make of this?
Anything's better than what we already had.
Oh
Let's
God,
hurry up and get another goalkeeper going.
He has big shoes to
Uh,
fill, don't you think, JC?
Negative. He can really write his own story as fast as he wants, whenever he wants. Not much to really fight against. But you're talking about
this
Champions
guy
League,
and this
Champions League
guy.
with Inter. De Gea. But anyways, not the point here. Let's just sign the keeper. Let's
This
get it
guy
over
off
the
that
line.
funny juice today.
We're gonna overpay no matter who it is. We're Manchester United. We seen it. Whatever. Get over the price tags. As long as we don't go and do anything dumb like Harry Kane again. I'm Maguire again. We'll be all right. But let's just get the deal over the line. We already overpaid for Mason Mount. Whatever. Let's keep going. You know what I mean? Anything's gonna be better. You already seen what he could do. He played Man City and really kept Inter in the game with those long passes he was putting up and how calm he was under pressure. Not to say he's gonna be the one to really break down Man City, right? But he really gives you another dimension that you've been missing for a long time. De Gea couldn't really play a ball in to save his life. And he couldn't stop a ball with his hands to save his life. So I'm glad to be upgrading at the goalkeeper
But he won the
position, much
Golden Glove.
needed for a
Okay.
long time.
Okay.
Who was his competition?
He won the Golden
Who was his
Glove.
competition?
Alisson, Ederson,
You're talking about the
Raya.
club gold glove, bro. You're not talking about the Premier League right now.
I'm talking about the
Come on
Premier
now.
League
Come on
Gold
now.
Glove guy.
Don't
Come
start, my
on.
guy. Don't go hyping this guy up. He already made you look foolish enough. But I'm glad to be upgrading. I'm glad to be moving on and getting rid of the dead weight. There's a few more players to go. Ten Hag's working on it. It's just hard to find suitors for trash. But we're moving forward in the right
Shout
direction.
out
I
to
feel
Inter
like
Miami.
Ten Hag, good looking out. We got to get rid of a few more guys. Let's try some player swaps. Like, there's a guy I'm thinking about who plays for a specific team somewhere out there, very close to
The
us,
Casablanca.
right over there. Just to let you know, I'm not gonna drop any names yet, but just know it's in the works, guys. Stay tuned. You heard it here first.
Ain't nothing in the works.
Yeah, there's a lot in the works.
So obviously,
Yo, smell
Fabrizio
me.
Yeah.
Fabrizio tweeted out. There's already been a lot of craziness in the first month and a half of the transfer window. There's still another month and a half to go. But obviously, I want to ask the fellas now. Eddie, one signing so far that you think will shine?
That boy Kim for Bayern Munich. Him
Oh,
and
he
Dead
got
Lick.
me. Yeah,
Him and Dead Lick
kind
gonna
of
be real
crazy.
strong back there. Assuming he stays healthy. I think that'll be, one of the signings of the season. And what a bargain, I think. I think Thomas Tuchel knew right away that, one of the things that they were also missing last season was someone back there to partner up with De Ligt. And
Facts.
Kim is the guy. He can play from the back. He's strong. He's got a great aerial game. And I think he'll adapt real well to the Bundesliga.
JC.
I like that one, but just for the sake of picking somebody else, why not? Why not Nkunku at Chelsea? If that guy could stay healthy, if he could stay healthy, I really feel like he can give you a whole different dimension.
I like how you didn't
Under,
go with the obvious, like Mason Mount or Jude Bellingham, because
Whoa,
well,
okay.
that's not
No, hold
obvious.
on. Let
That's not
JC continue.
obvious.
No,
That's
hold on,
not
hold on.
obvious because Mason Mount had a clear 1v1 opportunity day, and the guy thought he
hold
was
on.
David
No.
Beckham, and he tried to chip it from like 40 out. Don't
JC,
get me
keep on
started
going.
with
Keep
that
on going.
because I already feel like we overpaid for that guy. But I'm gonna go ahead and
No.
finish,
Keep on
and I'm gonna
going.
go ahead and say that in Nkunku, health permitting, could really give a different dimension to this Chelsea team that they've been missing for a long time. I think if Poch can get his chips right and he can play chess and not checkers, he could really have a quality player on his hands that could really offer him a lot and make the team not miss the departures of a Joao Felix and a Havertz, because they've been missing a striker. I'm not saying he's a striker, but he's a false nine who can get you a lot of goals and produce a lot of goals. He's not going to be the go-to guy to play up top, right? But from a production standpoint, I think you could very much have a very quality player who's going to offer a lot of talent and a lot of goals. compared to where they're coming from. Obviously, keep it relative.
Well, where there is success, there is failure.
Oh,
And whoops, I'm sorry, that wasn't supposed to be up there. Pedro Valverde leaving Madrid. No, I'm at Madrid. I'm trying to leave my mark at the best club in the world. Whoa, hold on, that wasn't
yeah, for
supposed to
sure.
jump up there.
My bad. That's not who I was talking about, but okay, yeah.
Nobody's leaving.
Surprise!
He's leaving.
I know who you want. You want Odriozola. You can have him.
You know what?
Eddie.
Hold on. Before you move on to the next segment,
0 for 2.
I'm just gonna give a quick shout out to my boy Pulisic. I think him going to AC Milan makes a lot of sense.
I like that.
And he's gonna rip it out there.
I love how I put one signing that will be a bust, and you start mentioning Pulisic. That's pretty funny. But we'll
I know
move
where
on,
you're
obviously. going. Eddie, give me one that'll be a bust.
Di Maria de Benfica.
And you heard that. He said my boy Pulisic. So
you heard it right here, boys.
He locked it in.
I'll lock that in. But bust for sure. I think Di Maria to Benfica is not the fairy tale that everyone thinks is gonna be. He's over there just getting a paycheck and riding the nostalgia wave that the Benfica fans are feeling right now. I don't think he's necessarily going to produce anything that's going to help your team get over that round of 16 hump in the Champions League. I'll tell you that.
JC?
Something about Declan Rice to Arsenal doesn't sit well with me. Just something about that doesn't sit well. I feel like from a chemistry.
Going to Arsenal sits well with you?
You see, just all these Arsenal moves all together.
Pick one, guy.
I feel like somebody just gave Arteta a bag for no reason because he didn't win any trophies, right? Master fumbler. I don't know, but there's a few to pick from. Tonali and Newcastle. Tonali and Newcastle. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. That's a big culture change. That's a big culture change. The gym was bigger. The gym with me. You feel me? That's kind of alarming. Anybody that signs for Liverpool is going to be a bust. That's a given the last 3 years, especially this guy right here, Swabo. Sorry, I'm going to butcher your name right now, champ. Dominic. 70 million fee. That's a big thing hanging over his head. There's a few to pick from, but I think, something about Declan Arsenal doesn't sit well with me, and there's a reason why it took so long to get it over the line. I hope I'm wrong, just from a Declan standpoint, not from an Arsenal standpoint, because I got a lot of love for the guy. But something between Declan and then that Liverpool signing. I'm not gonna butcher his name again, but 70 mil for that guy, it's kind of tough. They're looking to replace Firmino. No, Firmino, the Bulgarian guy. You can't really pronounce his name.
Yeah. I'm not.
Yeah, they're looking to replace Firmino with that signing. Those are big shoes to fill because he basically won them everything they got. And let's call it what it is. Very underrated player when it comes to talking about Liverpool and who has the most impact. They still overlook him. And if they're looking to replace Bobby Firmino with this new guy, I don't know. You don't really got you a Berbatov there. You got you a different kind of player, and there's no guarantees. But somewhere between those two. Tonali, on the low end of the radar.
That's your dark horse, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm at the
sit mine would be Kovacic at City.
Oof, that's a bench rider.
Well, it is time for what's on social media.
Oh, let's party.
And I got some fun stuff for you. Lad TV had this interesting video. I'm going to show it to you guys now.
One Manchester United player will get into the City starting 11. 3, 2, 1.
How far off the table can I go with this, mate? Can I go a quarter off the table? I don't want to spare anything, but I'm going as far off humanly possible as that, okay?
You're a very good team, but I disagree.
Well, who gets in?
I think Marcus Rashford could play for City quite easily. Marcus Rashford could play for City quite easily.
No, he'd get in the stadium.
He did before, huh?
Remember, what you've got to remember, is that these players would be coached by Pep as well, and they would have been coached by Pep for the last 3 or 4 years.
This is a one-off situation.
You got to put that into the scenario.
Jack Grealish plays on the left for us. I take him
Jack
every
Grealish,
day.
you use that one to run him out of town.
Not me.
A year ago.
Not me. No, that was pundits had no idea about Man City fans love Jack Grealish. He's a far more intelligent player than Rashford. He's far more. His level is consistent. Now, a lot of people have said the numbers haven't been good.
The same stats,
Rashford's numbers have been incredible this season.
So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that there's a Manchester United player that could get into the Man City starting 11?
Easily.
Yeah, there's plenty.
Easily. I mean, last season I could have put Wan-Bissaka on that team.
Casemiro makes that team.
Casemiro makes
Varane
that team.
makes that team.
He said when they start arguing,
No,
he says Luke Shaw. He thinks Luke Shaw would have started at left back.
Luke Shaw would have made that team.
Luke Shaw is definitely making that team. You got Luke Shaw and John Stones on the same team. That's crazy.
What did you think about their discussion, JC, about Rashford and Grealish?
I mean, Rashford is an ex-City player, I think, right? So, whatever. But no, I mean, they both had the same amount of production.
Talking about
for the guy to go out there and talk that
Fernando
Man City fans love Grealish. No, they didn't. They were freaking booing Grealish for a weak first start, and
they're running him out of town.
They were, and now they love him.
Oh, we just spent 100. Get him out of here.
Get him out.
Remember, they hated him last year when in the Real Madrid Man City second leg. Yeah. Remember those two that Courtois saved off of Grealish.
Man City fans have real short-term memory.
Yeah, they hated
quote unquote fans, I should say. Quote unquote.
They're worse than PSG fans. I'm telling you.
Let's go to this. What do you guys make of this guy?
When are we going to speak about Messi's failures? Because the last time I checked, when Ronaldo left Juventus, he went there to win the Champions League, and he never won the Champions League. That is a failure. We had that. Yeah. He had other offers, but he chose to go to Manchester United. Rashford, in his best season, has the same goal contributions as a 38-year-old Ronaldo in Manchester United. Rashford's 17 goals, timed as his best season, is the same as what the old man did last season, bro.
Yeah, and he outbeat Rashford too, right? Peak Rashford. So let's throw that in there too.
It was more about the failures of Messi compared to Ronaldo. As we all know, Messi guaranteed a couple of years ago that he would bring a Champions League back to the Camp Nou. He never did that. As soon as Neymar left, and obviously Luis Suarez got old. He really, as soon as Neymar left, it's like they kind of fell off. All the blunders in Champions League against Roma, against Liverpool, against all these different teams, like they were finding different ways to lose. But he's basically saying Ronaldo's always won no matter where he's gone. Messi can't say the same thing. So I mean, I'll leave it to you guys. But I mean, I know where you guys stand. But do you feel like that's not talked about enough?
Of course not. Of course not. Because what's his name? Platter. Football's nice boy versus football's bad boy, and all these narratives have been written since the beginning of time. Unfortunately, don't let you enjoy a Cristiano Ronaldo's quality, because he's always framed to be the bad guy. But let's call it what it is. One guy's a system player, and one guy can't exist without other specific players being on his team.
That best, right?
You could put Cristi on any team, and he's gonna bag you. I don't know how many goals. You a hat trick. You feel me?
It's crazy. I saw a video the other day where they were even arguing. Look at Messi; he's married and he has kids. Ronaldo's over here messing around with all these different women, and I'm like, what does that have to do with them?
You see?
No, this is the biggest one that I've seen, where ESPN FC said Messi to the MLS makes a lot more sense than you think, but then they put another one. Cristiano Ronaldo to the Saudi League. He's finished.
I remember that. Done. We put that here. Yeah.
Whatever.
One at 35, one at 38, right? Or something like that.
Like, what? Ronaldo at 35 went and challenged himself and went to a different league, and almost got them over the hump of getting to the Champions League.
And you asked that Atletico Madrid team that Messi couldn't beat what a 35-year-old Cristiano did.
So
Cholo dreams like he has nightmares of Ronaldo.
Oh yeah,
like the dude just.
I would too. You kidding me?
No, I know. But I saw this on Instagram. I think you guys will get a kick out of it. And it's scary because it feels like it is true.
Oh no, this guy.
I've seen that one.
Familia, vacaciones. Y yo no lo veo así. O sea, yo soy feliz aquí en la selección, estando concentrado, trabajando, representando a mi país. Se los platiqué a mis compañeros también. Y la idea es contagiarlos, porque estar aquí es un privilegio. No es fácil estar tan...
So obviously it's a picture of Memo Ochoa in 2050 with gray hair, wrinkles, and everything, and it's saying still the starting goalkeeper for Mexico. It has been said again that Memo Ochoa expects to be the starting goalkeeper for Mexico in 2026. I think that would be his
No,
fifth World Cup.
Fifth.
No, it's
So
six.
2006, 2010, 2014,
That's
2018,
20 years.
2022. Oh,
Five.
yeah, six, yeah.
5 or 6.
Six.
6. Okay, that'd be a 6th World Cup. I don't know if anybody's ever made it to that many. But he wants to be the goalkeeper. And what do you guys think? Do you guys think he makes it to 2026?
Of course he makes it. If it took 40-year-old Conejo Perez out there, what do you think they're not going to take 40-year-old Memo Ochoa out there? So yeah, of course he's gonna make it. As long as Televisa's pumping the money, you think they're gonna keep him out? Of course.
Hey, Conejo gave up that game against Argentina. I remember that.
Gave up that game against Argentina, I would say, but also I think he could have. I guess he couldn't done nothing against South Africa. That was a crazy goal. Shabalaba.
What do you think? Well, and that was the first. That was the opening game, so you knew it was either going to be. It was either going to be a tie or it was going to be a win by South Africa.
I don't blame Conejo as much as I'm playing Bosco right there, but yeah.
JC.
It's part of the bigger problem. Like, how selfish do you have to be and really stop your nation from progressing because you want to be selfish and go to another World Cup?
Not just him, Champ. For what? It's not just him, though.
Like, that's my point. Like, how do you have, like,
I don't want to go to the World Cup at that age. I don't care.
Bro, like, how do you see Toni Kroos stepping down this last World Cup and saying, hey, you know what? That's enough for me. Bring in the next generation and let them win us and take us to the next level. That's part of the bigger problem.
Germany's a machine.
And that's my point, is you're now sacrificing. So now you're sacrificing your nation actually progressing and actually doing something with the talent they have because you want to be a selfish, for F word,
what would have
to
been
go
more
ahead and go to another vacation, another paid vacation, to go on another shopping spree and go on another splurge, to go do nothing and win nothing. Like, that's really all it is. Come on, man. Like, there's a problem with it, is that they're being selfish for personal gain. They want to go and win. They don't care to win.
I got no problem with him saying that he wants to go. I have a problem with him saying he wants to be the starting goalkeeper. I think it would have been more appropriate for him to say, hey, I do want to be part of the process, but I'm also aware that we have up-and-coming talent, up-and-coming goalkeepers, and if I'm able to teach them what I've learned throughout my years here at the Selección
but that's not what we got.
Cups.
But that's not
what I'm saying, though. But that's what I'm saying. That's not
what we got. And it's personal gain, and he's a selfish F word, and he needs to cut it out and let the nation progress. And this is part of the problem, is that you got guys like that and guys like Rafa Marquez want to go on another paid vacation to go and do nothing. Exactly. Like, dude is really wondering why he didn't make the squad. Are you kidding me? Who on this team are you better than? Who on this team are you really better than? Please.
Moving along, Juventus have reportedly put Paul Pogba on the transfer list, and they'd be willing to let him go for 10 million euros.
Good. Dead weight. Dead weight. Dead weight.
You gotta go. Bring him back to United. Why not?
Dead weight. No, you're crazy. You're crazy. Nah, bro.
Ten Hag fix anyone but De Gea.
He ain't gonna.
He fix Rashford.
No one gonna fix that guy's knees.
You think he's fixed Rashford completely or no?
He broke Rashford, a broken ass Rashford. And then Rashford went on a vacation again and thought he was somebody he wasn't. Like, and then he showed his true colors.
There's also reports that Bayern Munich have put Sadio Mane on sale for 20 million.
Wow, I'm taking
whole
that.
Sane incident. Didn't really help out.
But JC, where would you play him if you already have a left wing?
I don't have a left wing, actually. I need one bad, like a real left wing, like someone who knows what to do with the ball in front of goal instead of like.
I play him as striker. He played striker for Southampton all those years. He played striker for us.
The silence. Obviously, there's a standard in La Liga when it comes to Barcelona and Real Madrid and how much they compete. John Laporta came out and said, "I'm very satisfied with our team. We are collectively and individually better than Real Madrid."
Yeah, okay. Next thing you're gonna tell me is that you have the better coach too. Like, come on, guy. Like,
speaking of that,
you almost forget that they won La Liga, huh?
no one talked about that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's really why he's
the
out
headlines
here.
were Real Madrid don't make the Champions League final. It wasn't even the headline. Wasn't even that City won the Champions League,
right?
Or that they won the treble. The headline wasn't that Barcelona won La Liga. The headline literally was Real Madrid don't make the Champions League final. What's next? Jude Bellingham, Mbappe. They took over the whole headlines. Nobody cared that.
And that's really this is the only reason why this guy's running his mouth. He'd be hiding under a freaking rock somewhere had they blown that La Liga lead. Oh man!
Oh well, he was hiding under a rock when they couldn't sign Messi. Remember?
Oh, you know it, and I don't know what it is. Every time Xavi calls somebody,
supposedly Neymar wanted to go, and
every time Xavi calls somebody, they get the deal just destroyed. Nothing happens. So keep Xavi out the phones.
ESPN FC is saying Real Madrid and Barcelona have seriously talented young cores.
That's crazy. Jesus. Like, if you put all the players combined for Barcelona, they've played like 90 minutes combined.
Who would you guys rather have?
Bro, that Gavi and Pedri don't even come close to touching Jude Bellingham's shoes, let alone putting them on.
And it's funny, which one's the shithead that always goes out and tries to injure players? That's Gavi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gavi's the one that's not. That's whatever.
Jude's a big boy.
Pedri's the more talented one, right? That's the.
Well, the messed up thing about it is that Barca's really just gonna run true future star players like Gavi and Pedri into the dirt. Like, Pedri hasn't played because all they do is just abuse of him consistently. Like, Pedri, you have to play every single minute. You guys remember that picture that came out when he went to the the Euros or that? And dude was like drained. He had like freaking black under his eyes.
At the beginning of the season.
Everything, bro. Like, dude looked like he hadn't come out of the freaking gulag in years.
You know what's funny about
that's
this
just efecto Xavi, I guess. You know
what's funny in this? They didn't provide Fede Valverde. Fede's 24. And for Barcelona, they had to stretch it out.
We don't want to put that. We got to put that 16-year-old who hasn't even signed yet.
Yeah. Well, no, that 16-year-old has signed with.
Or presented. He doesn't even have a white jersey.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Oh, they didn't put Valverde on this picture?
Nope, of course not.
No, but that's not. But that's not it. My point of view is they didn't sign him they didn't put him on here because he's older than 23. But they put Conde and they put Araujo on here because they had to stretch it out because Barcelona doesn't have as much young talent as
they don't have the facilities, big fella.
There you go, exactly. So it's just funny to see how ESPN
they really gotta feed the money machine, huh? And keep those lights on however they can.
Man. It's gotta be the same guy.
They're interesting, but folks, thank you guys again so much for joining another episode of Compas FC. We will be back next week, most likely. Well, we already know what we're going to be talking about, the Gold Cup final, what that means, what is next for the winner, what's next for the loser. We'll discuss all that. But don't forget to check out everything else on Compas on the Beat, on Compas on the Beat regular. Obviously, Gilbert and I were in Vegas for UFC 290. We have a lot of content. Dana White says he loves the fighting Mexicans. He cannot wait for the up-and-coming Mexican fighters. Like, this is only the beginning for them. Make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you guys check out Usman throwing a little shade at Colby Covington and some other fighters. So make sure you guys check out everything from Compas on the Beat. And then on regular episode, Gilbert and I discussed the hard topics. What is one hard topic? Andrew Luck is about to be eligible for the Hall of Fame. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes or no? So
it's been that long.
Don't forget, What's Up Bolts? Dan and Dago and I will be filming an episode pretty soon, talking about training camp battles and obviously some of the players. And don't forget, if we get to 1,000 subscribers, one lucky viewer will be going to have lunch with Dan and Dago. He's obviously very excited about that. And don't forget to check out everything else. House of Horns.
Is he paying
Combat
for the
Compas?
lunch?
Yeah, Compas on the Beat will be providing
paid
the
lunch.
Exactly.
Paid lunch, everybody.
Alcohol not included. You just never know. But we appreciate you guys so much
Dan
for checking
only
us
serves
out.
the meats.
We will, yeah, exactly. We will be back next week. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week and a weekend.